Hey guys, AnimeWestReacts here. Gonna be reacting to Talentless Nona, chapter 108, Talentless versus Talentless, part 3. So yeah, got Nana speaking to Rin. So yeah, now, how's Nakajima? She says he's vanished. He says he's fine, fine mess he's made, still, he's experienced how terrifying that thing can be. So yeah, Nakajima. Last time we saw him, he was a transferee. Or he managed to like stop halfway, I guess, so its face was all weird. But yeah, Tsuruoka says, I expect he's told you, but Talented are basically monsters. I've been researching day and night for a way to save them. And Nana says, then should you explain yourself to the public? You've isolated Talented, hidden them away, and keep performing inhumane experiments on them. Tsuruoka says, this country used to just kill them. They'd receive a conscription notice, be taken to an island, and executed. He says, I couldn't bear to watch, that's why I made a materialistic man prime minister. A materialistic man prime minister so I could try curing them. If I waited for public approval, I never would have gotten anywhere with it. And she says, if you were trustworthy, people would have listened to you. And he says, am I not trustworthy? And she's like, do I really need to answer that? And she like grips her hands and says, you tricked me, or you tricked me and used me. He says, I only killed your parents because they were talented. Who could have transformed at any moment? And then, yeah, she's like shocked. Says, what? He says, I kept the truth from you because you were too young. You were too young for it. And she was like thinking, bullshit. So he says, to get to the point, Hiragi, come back to me. Talented trusts you now. You can convince them to submit to testing willingly. Come. Don't you want to save them? She says, I wondered where you were going with that, and he says, this will help you too. Your friend Mizono was scared too, that once you've rescued the talented, they might get to the island and transform. And then she says, She says, I'm not scared, I'll follow Nana-chan. Of course I will. And he says, of course. If you truly believed it, you wouldn't need to verbally affirm it. Think, even if your jailbreak goes well, the talented who come with you will eventually end up just like Nakajima. Once they do, they'll all be killed. That's where Hiragi's plan will lead, and you still think she's right. Sir says, all I'm trying to do is save as many people as I can. Yes, inhumane things happen in this camp every day. I'll admit the fault lies with me. And Ness says, you haven't seen how they live. Stop talking like you understand. Think about what they're having to put up with. He says, most of them have lost everything, even their families. And he says, that's true. I've been in the laboratories and wasn't interested in the conditions in town. I can see how that would build resentment towards the soldiers. That's why I want to be the bridge between us and the talented. So if I do, will you stop stealing from and abusing the talented? He says, the new troops I called for took up their posts today. The discipline is very strict. The soldiers who'd been brutish will have discipline drummed back into them. Nana says, will you compensate those who've lost family and ensure they'll never be starved or deprived again? Whew. He says, I'll find warm homes for the homeless and open a hospital. I'll even prepare schooling for the kids in the sewers. Embezzlement of supplies will not be tolerated, or won't be tolerated. Nana says, I need a minute. Says, this is all so unexpected. So he says, think it over. Do you need some air? Says, can I open the window? Yeah. And Nana's like, I'll never fall for this sweet talk. Soroka must know there's no way I'd come back to his side now. What is he after? But he's right. I don't have a solution to the transformation problem. I need to probe further. So yeah, he says, what will you do with the talented? Will you continue? Will the experiments continue? So he says, I'll take the subject's wishes into account. So yeah, so about the transformation, I expect you have specialist researchers working on it here. He says, yes, we have university professors and foreign technicians all specializing in medicine. College Camp's the world premier talented research institute. She says, so they can't be persuaded to our side. They can't all be fine with the atrocities committed here as he's threatening them. So he says, if Kyoya Onodera and Sachiko Maizono agree to cooperate with us, Nakajima and Jin Tachibana will no longer need to bear the load by themselves. And so, yeah, Nana's like, Jin Tachibana? He's like, oh, so you found out about him. It's quite far from our current subject. You want to hear it? So Nana says, no, let's stay on topic. And he's like, that's strange. He's not one for idle talk. So she says, so are your treatments showing results? So yes, he says, we discovered that some talented possess antibodies against the transformation. So yeah, he says, do you know who? It says, current hypothesis is that those with powerful skills like transformation, teleportation, or immortality are most likely to be antibody carriers. So yeah, so Kyoya and Sachiko. And so yeah, then Nana realizes. So yeah, Nana seems to realize something. Probably what Suruk is getting at. So yeah, he says, well, one problem is that there's no consensus on what counts as a powerful ability, so how about it? And so Nana says, do you have anything else? Ooh, so yeah, says Kyoka, or keep calling him Kyoka. Tsuruoka says, I've not heard your answer to my offer yet. Nana says, I thought I was the one you were supposed to be after. What do you mean? You keep making empty promises in order to draw out this discussion as long as possible, I can tell. I'm talentless. You're only interested in experiments and the talented. So yeah, he says, I won't deny that, but so what? Didn't I just ask you to bridge the gap between the talented and the talentless? And Sonana says, let me ask you this. How did you know about the kids living in the sewers? He says, even I didn't know, and I was one of the walkers. But you did after spending all your time holed up inside the base. And so yeah, Soroka says, did you not think that the patrol who went into the sewers looking for you would make their report? And mention a bunch of kids to me? Of course they would. And so they also told you about the signs of us living there, didn't they? And Sachiko's like, what's happening? Yeah. So what's going on? Says, you're all in danger. Says, he knew he teleported in here. He pretended to call me out, but really, he wanted to make sure to lock you down. Isn't that right, Soroka? And so, yeah, he gets like a smile and says, so many rebellious antibody candidates living down there, how could I resist? Cracking open their skulls to take a look. If you go down, maybe some of them will still be alive. So yeah, so Sachiko, do exactly as I say. And she's like, okay. And so now he yells, Suroka. I said, no, you piece of shit. I'm gonna outmaneuver you for the sake of everyone that you betrayed and murdered. And so yeah, they teleport. And so yeah, he says, a show of rushing back to save the people in the sewers, a heroic declaration proclaiming she'll be back to deal with me another day. And yet the truth is that a single talentless won't be able to turn the tides. They're just more baggage for the teleporter. Plus, the hero hasn't achieved her goal. Why did she decide to accept my invitation? What did she want? To save Rin Onodera. Then she would wait for me to let my guard down. Once I left the room, she'd sneak back in, turn on the computer, and try to find where Ren Onodera is being held. She would enter through the veranda and says, "You never did lock your windows." So yeah, saw through what she was planning. So yeah, pretty good chapter. We got Tsuruki getting called out for his lies, revealing a truth that Nana's parents were talented, and that's why he killed them. And that he's got this twisted kind of savior thing. That's what he's trying to do, I guess. That's what it makes it sound like, that he's in his own twisted way trying to save the talented, but who knows how much of that is truth and lies. So yeah, hope you all enjoy this video. If you do, leave a like on it, sub the channel, hit that notification bell, and yeah, I'll see you on another video. So